Birds really get the best views of any of Earth's creatures. Being able to see the world from above is a privilege that many people will never get to experience, unless they have easy access to a helicopter at any time. But thanks to the magic of photography, we're able to see some amazing bird's eye views. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're showcasing some of the most amazing bird's eye views from around the world. If you've ever wanted to see some of the world's most famous cities from up above, you've come to the right place. Without further ado, let's get into it. Number 10. Dubai, United Arab Emirates. Dubai is the United Arab Emirates' most densely populated city. Located on the southeast coast of the Persian Gulf, it is known for its incredibly tall skyscrapers, which includes the Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world. The United Arab Emirates wasn't always the extravagant, sprawling metropolis that it is today, but it's been home to humans for more than 125,000 years. Founded in the 18th century, Dubai began as a humble fishing village with a population of just a few hundred people. It was small and cramped, and most of the area that is now the modern city was still a desert. Farmers weren't able to use the land to grow plants or maintain livestock because it was completely uninhabitable. So how did the UAE come to be? Well, in 1971, the United Arab Emirates was founded and became an incredibly wealthy nation virtually overnight, thanks to its immense supply of oil. The black gold was found off the coast of Dubai, causing businessmen to pour into the city and begin business. While the Gulf War resulted in a mass exodus of most business people to leave Dubai, they returned once oil prices started to skyrocket. They began investing in Dubai's development in the 2000s, which continues to this day. Now we get to see some incredible sky-high shots of this sprawling metropolis. Number 9. Mexico City, Mexico. As the largest city in the country, Mexico City is the largest Spanish-speaking city in the world. And while this incredible bird's eye view shot of the city doesn't show it, Mexico City is actively sinking every year. In fact, it's being submerged by 40 centimeters every year, thanks to a phenomenon known as subsidence. The city was built in the early 14th century over a lake. As the city expanded, bigger and heavier buildings were built, and a lot of the region's groundwater was tapped for industrial and household purposes. The result was a constant drying of the lake bed and cracking of the clay sheets. Now Mexico City continues to sink at a constant rate, and scientists say these changes are mostly irreversible. But it's not all doom and gloom in the capital of Mexico. In fact, it's one of the cultural capitals of the world, housing the largest number of museums on the entire planet, 1,086 to be exact. In addition to its plentiful museums, Mexico City has also been called the City of Palaces. You can probably guess why. Alexander von Humboldt gave this city its name back in the 18th century, and it still holds true to this day. There are dozens upon dozens of palaces and mansions in the city, with some of the most notable being the Palace of Fine Arts, the National Palace, and the House of Azulejos. Number 8. Giza, Egypt. Located directly on the banks of the River Nile, there's no place more historic than the Egyptian city of Giza. It's the largest city in the country, with its most famous location being the Giza Plateau. And for good reason. It's here that you'll find some of the world's most important monuments, including the Great Pyramids and the Great Sphinx. It's also the location that this amazing aerial photograph was taken. While the 3 pyramids of the Giza Plateau, Cheops, Chephren, and Mycerinus, are certainly Egypt's most famous, more than 130 additional pyramids have been discovered throughout the area of ancient Egypt. However, the pyramids of Giza are the oldest of them all, and in fact, are the oldest remaining of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. These ancient wonders are thought to be made of more than 2 million stone blocks, ranging from 2 to 50 tons and more, though it's still a mystery as to how exactly ancient Egyptians were able to transport them. It's estimated that more than 100,000 people took part in their construction, and that these people were paid workers, rather than indentured labourers, as was once thought. Talk about teamwork. If only the rest of the world today could work so harmoniously. Number 7. Sun City, USA. Sun City features one of the most interesting city planning designs of any city in the world, though it can only be truly appreciated from above. The design of this community's streets consists mainly of circles. Sun City was opened in 1960 and is apparently very popular with snowbirds, who probably get a great view of the city's shapes from above. But its unique street patterns are not the only thing interesting about Sun City. For starters, it was the first retirement community in the country, and perhaps the whole world. Most of the standard features that we now see in adult communities originated from Sun City, including the idea of constructing an entire community dedicated to recreation and leisure for the retired, but still active adult. There are plenty of stories about how close-knit the Sun City community was back in the early 60s. Socialization, friendship, fun, and recreation were and still are the main staples of living in Sun City. Meeting second and third generation residents is not unusual. Children and grandchildren of those original forerunners who have now made Sun City their home can be found throughout the town. After more than half a decade, Sun City is still a desirable place to live, though if you decide to move here, you'll likely have a tough time getting used to the odd, circular layout of the town. Number 6. Barcelona, Spain. As the second largest city in Spain, it's no surprise that it's the 6th most popular urban area in the entirety of the European Union. As this incredible picture showcases, Barcelona has plenty of amazing architecture to brag about, most of which is thanks to designs from the famous architect Antoni Gaudi. On the topic of Gaudi's brilliant architecture, construction of his magnus opus, the Sagrada Familia, began in 1882 and remains unfinished to this day. However, there has been a completion date set that coincides with the 100th anniversary of the architect's death. Surprisingly, or perhaps unsurprisingly, Gaudi's remains are entombed within. What's fascinating about all this is that Egyptologists estimate that the Great Pyramids of Giza, which were mentioned earlier, were constructed with ancient tools in the span of roughly 20 years. So the Basilica of the Sagrada Familia has taken longer to complete than the Egyptian pyramids. So it should come as no surprise that Barcelona is the only recipient of the Royal Gold Medal for Architecture. The honor has been awarded to individual architects, or groups of them, but never to a city, other than Barcelona, of course. Number 5. Venice, Italy. Located in the marshy Venetian lagoon, between the mouths of the Piave and Po rivers, Venice is famous for being a beautiful setting, abundant with architectural masterpieces and brilliant artwork. That's probably why the city was listed as a World Heritage Site. This incredible bird's eye view of Venice manages to capture the city's incredible depth of culture perfectly, with its meandering river and efficient use of space. It's not at all hard to fall in love with this city. It's filled with beautiful waterways, colourful architecture, and a glittering lagoon. There's nowhere else in the world where you can reach historic cathedrals, palazzos, and museums by boat, travelling along an endless maze of picturesque canals. The city that we all know as Venice is actually made up of a number of different islands, each with its own unique characteristics and set of landmarks. Connected by 170 waterways and nearly 400 bridges, these islands give Venice its unique charm. It's easy to forget that they're separate islands when you're walking around, since they tend to give the impression of being one landmass. Venice's most famous symbol, the humble gondolier, is an infamously difficult qualification to get. Only 3 or 4 new gondolier licenses are granted each year. The art of operating one of these little vessels is a historic Venetian tradition, previously passed down from father to son. These days it's regulated by a strict training protocol. Number 4. Cape Town, South Africa. As the second most populous city in South Africa, Cape Town is famous for its harbour and plentiful landmarks, like Cape Point and the iconic Table Mountain. This incredible aerial photograph captures the latter, which is, without a doubt, one of the most recognizable mountains in the world. Outside of Europe, Cape Town was the first city to see its beaches certified as Blue Flag. For the uninitiated, this means that they meet high environmental and quality standards. Basically, they're great for the environment. In 2016, 10 of the city's beaches were awarded with Blue Flag status, thanks to the remarkable quality of their water, cleanliness, facilities, and safety. Table Mountain is an ecosystem of its own. The natural monument is home to more than 2,000 species. The plants that call Table Mountain their home developed millions of years ago when the mountain was just a small island cut off from the mainland by higher sea levels. If you ever want a taste of rich, vibrant history, Cape Town is the place to be. And if you decide to visit Table Mountain, you could get a bird's eye view of your own. Number 3. Amsterdam, the Netherlands. Amsterdam is the city famous for its romantic bridges and canals, as well as its bicycles, which rule the city. And who could forget the abundance of tulips? The capital of the Netherlands is one of the world's most popular travel destinations, and often produces some incredible bird's eye view imagery like the one shown here. What this picture doesn't show us, unfortunately, is the sheer volume of bikes that populate the roads. There are more than 1.2 million bikes in this city, though Amsterdam's total population is only around 821,000 inhabitants. There are more than 400 kilometers of bike lanes and several storage facilities. Amsterdam also gives Venice a run for its money when it comes to the number of canals. With more than 165 canals throughout the city, you'd be able to travel 100 kilometers on the water and still remain within the city's limits. Number 2. Dubrovnik, Croatia. Croatia is a country that seems to fly under the radar, even though its city of Dubrovnik is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's one of the Mediterranean's most outstanding destinations, and this is clear to see from the incredible aerial photography shown here. Also called the Pearl of the Adriatic, Dubrovnik was once a pillar of modernity. So much so that the city had fresh, running water from stunning fountains, while London was still using open sewers. Opposite the Church of Holy Salvation lies the magnificent fountain, built by Onofrio della Cava. It was erected as a celebration of the completion of the new waterworks in 1438, which thus supplied the city with water from the Dubrovnik River. Rivaling England once again, Dubrovnik also had its own Shakespeare, Marin Držić, who the town is named after. He is considered to be the greatest Croatian playwright of all time. If you're interested in historic literature and have a few hours to kill, we highly recommend reading some of his works. Number 1. Male, Maldives. The capital city in the Maldives is little more than an island, but it's densely packed with buildings, hotels, and even manages to fit a sports stadium on there. The city is so compact, in fact, that it can be captured in a single, incredible aerial photograph. It's no surprise that it's the 8th most densely populated island in the world. It also happens to be the only island in the world that doesn't feature a single mountain, river, or highland. Instead, it's a sea-dominated flat land with the surging waves of the sea and lush green vegetation, instilling a pristine, calm beauty to it. If you ever decide to visit Male, you'll find that the locals are all dressed quite similarly. This is because Male has regulations for the dress code for locals. Since Ireland is their official religion, men are required to wear at least t-shirts and shorts that reach below the knee, while ladies are encouraged to cover their thighs and chests. It's an incredible place to visit, and as this photo proves, makes for some stunning photo ops. That's all, folks. You've made it to the end of the video. If you like this video, do us a favor, hit the thumbs up button down below. Consider subscribing to the channel so you stay updated with all our posts. And if you never want to miss another upload, hit the bell icon down below to get notified when we put out a new video. Until next time, goodbye for now.